Call Nikki Wagner.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I rise to support the Local Government 2002 Amendment Bill number 3, and I support it because it amends the Local Government Act and it gives effect to the second phase of National's Better Government changes. New Zealand's 78 councils make up about 4% of New Zealand's economy. They spend $7.5 billion of public money every year, and they manage over $100 billion worth of assets. So we really do need to make sure that they are operating as efficiently as possible. Now, this second phase of better local government changes and reforms will empower local authorities. It will empower them by giving them the tools to provide better services for their local communities, because we all have the same aim. We want to deliver better services to New Zealanders under very tight fiscal constraints, and to build a more productive and a more competitive economy generally all round. Now, I just want to have a look at 3 or 4 of the main provisions of this bill. The first one is about extending the local boards model. This is the model that was used in Auckland and has proved to be very successful, and other councils have asked for the similar model to be used. And under our first lot of reforms, we allowed that model to be used in an urban unitary authority if it had a population of more than 400,000 as it was reorganised. But this bill will allow local boards to be an option in a proposed reorganisation to any new unitary authority, and even as part of existing authorities. And that introduction will be determined on a case-by-case basis, looking at the community, seeing what they require, and it will lead in consultation with the Local Government Commission. The bill also focuses on a more efficient delivery and governance of local authority services. Now, the idea behind that is that the bill can encourage greater collaboration and more shared services between local authorities. It will do this by providing a range of practical ways to achieve those efficiencies of scales without necessarily amalgamating or creating bigger units. It just gives more flexibility to collaborate and to deliver better, cheaper services. The bill also encourages better consultation, decision-making and planning. It basically gives more flexibility to councils and more clarity about how and when they must consult. The current law allows very little flexibility, and under this bill, councils will have flexibility to use new techniques and more modern technology when they consult with the public. It does not remove any requirements to consult or any provisions about Māori engagement with council decision-making. After an in-depth study about development contributions, this bill improves the development contributions regime. It will clarify and narrow the range of infrastructure that can be financed by development contributions. It also provides new principles and a new purpose for development contributions that will be inserted into the Act to guide its use and to provide greater transparency. I was interested to hear the Honourable Annette King supporting the better infrastructure delivery and asset management. This is a very important role of local government, and this bill will improve decision-making about infrastructure. What will happen is that councils will be required to prepare an infrastructure strategy for at least a 30-year period, because we know that the vast majority of council spending is around large infrastructure programs. So they'll need to have a plan for 30 years, and they'll have to incorporate this into their long-term plans after 2015. The bill also adds the principle that asset management planning is part of a council's prudent stewardship of resources, and so there will be a greater oversight of that spending. And I think it's time for that. I think it was mentioned earlier that we had the report from the Auditor General about Kaipra, and that certainly was an example where spending was not monitored closely enough, and so we want to see all councils have the tools to make sure they spend their ratepayers' money well. These reforms are a really important part of our program to build a more productive and competitive economy and to deliver better public services for all communities. And we do want to work with local government in these really challenging financial times and to make sure that they can deliver in the most efficient and affordable way to their ratepayers and for all Kiwi families. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Cool.